Hey folks, welcome to the haul video for the latter half of July. Basically this is a 2-week-old haul, meaning that stuff sat in the box or arrived in the last 2 weeks. I've already taken everything out of their packaging in terms of the shipping packaging, but there's still a ton of stuff to show.
Hey kid, yeah, you. Everyone thinks toys are fun, but this is a channel for adults. Yeah, I said it. If you're under the age of 18, go get your parents before you come in here. If you're under the age of 13, scram! Let's get on with the show.
I'm not going to show you everything that I got, because there are some other pieces coming to things, so that I'll be able to show you things as a lot, so to speak. That should be happening this weekend, so look for a smaller haul video a few days after that, hopefully early next week, if I can contain myself that long, because when that does arrive, it's going to be cool. I will give you a hint later in the video. In the meantime, let's go over what we have. So, to start things off, not super exciting, but exciting for me, are this 2-pack of 12-inch acrylic figure shelves. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves. They're 12-inch wide each. 2 of them. Very simple design. Got good reviews. Got a great price on them. I'm going to need them back there. So, there we go. Also in the rather large box department, and something that I'll be unboxing later, is a Mattel toy box. Just kidding. It is the Jurassic World Super Colossal Tyrannosaurus Rex. Below, on this shelf here on the bottom, is the matching Giganotosaurus that I got quite a while back. Reason I got this one when I did, this motherfucker never goes on sale. The T-Rex is notoriously full price. Managed to get him for around 45, 50 bucks, which is almost a $20 savings depending upon where you get him from. Could not say no. Look for a review of a head-to-head with both of these dinos in the very near future, as I just gotta get these out of these boxes. I have one more big box to show before we get into individual figure packs and things like that. This may shock some of you, as this has not been available for quite a long time. I managed to get the Guardians of the Galaxy OG Volume 1 full pack that was originally a Shop Disney exclusive, and it went on sale towards the end of its run, and then it went whoosh, and you couldn't get it anywhere. Nerdzoic happened to get a bunch of these in for around the same price they originally sold for, and I just snapped it up. This is my favorite version of the Guardians, and this is a perfect addition to the shelf. It's very tempting to leave these in the box because of the display value, but they're going to come out when all the Marvel Legends go up loose. Change things up a bit. I've got a couple Blu-rays that are of note to you guys. You guys know I collect movies, and there was a ton of Blu-rays that came with this this haul. But some of them I didn't think you guys would be interested in, but the ones I think you guys would be most interested in is the Queen Live at Wembley Blu-ray. It's a 25th anniversary edition. And why that's important? It's a 2-disc set, shows both days of the show. They had 2 sold-out days, both full concerts. There's a miniature documentary at the back, and some other featurettes and rehearsals for the tour. Comes with a great booklet. I am a gigantic Queen fan. If you want to hear more about that, go over to Largo's Lairs Infinite playlist that I just guested on, where I talk about Queen quite a bit. This is great. Cannot wait to watch this. And this is a new release that you may not even be aware exists. I just happened to see it, did the pre-order, forgot about it, and it showed up. This is Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares. It's a Robert Englund documentary, the guy that played Freddy, among other things. And I just love that this exists, and I haven't watched it yet. Can't wait to. This is so cool. Next up, we have a recent Marvel Legends release of the original Model 01. I remember reading a reprint of the first Iron Man comic ever and just falling in love with kind of the tenacity of Tony Stark. And this is a great little figure, and I can't wait to put him on the shelf. You guys know that I love my Motu, and I certainly have quite a few Mattel Creations exclusive figures back there. And when they made the announcement that Motu Origins vintage-inspired line is going all Mattel Creations, the little devil on my shoulder said, "You should get the only one you don't have." And I did, which is He Skeletor. It's Faker with Skeletor armor on him. And what can I say? It was a good price. I only paid $5 more total than I would have if I'd have bought it from Mattel Creations originally. So I'll call that a win. And being a pretty hardcore completist with that brand, outside of like convention exclusives, that was kind of like, okay. It'll never be like, well, you don't have that. You know, you can shove your duplicate and all that kind of nonsense, but that I'm okay with. Next up is another recent release. This is the figure of the Rose from Spider-Man. This is, I remember when this character was originally introduced in the comics, and I absolutely fell in love with this guy and the concept of this dude. So the fact that they came out with a figure is just, it's so good. And I look at his alternate hands and I worry that he may not be able to hold his signature rose, but at least he came with one. Maybe I'll just take one of those bald fists and put a little tiny with a pin vise and just drill a hole in it. I might do that. The Rose, yes! Not even close to being a recent release, but something I again was able to get through Nerdzoic because he had one in hand. This is the comic accurate Doctor Strange. I loved this when it came out. I had pre-ordered a couple, one for myself and one for Largo. The pre-orders were falling through left and right. I did manage to get one and send down to him. And, of course, I had to have one for myself. So when the opportunity came, I picked him up. And he is just beautiful. And I have a custom Doctor Strange cape with wiring and stuff. I originally was going to put on one of my movie-accurate Doctor Strange, but I think as long as this cape comes off, we're going to have some fun. Got some more recent releases for you here. They're larger boxes. It'll be easy for me to get out of the way, but here we go. Thor and the Destroyer. Now, one, this is a great Thor buck. The head sculpt has the beard. I like the beard. I also have an 80th anniversary Thor without the beard. So I'm covered on Thors. The main reason I got this was for the Destroyer himself, because he towers over the other figures, and he is more comic accurate than film accurate, but they did such a good job of them in the film that I could display this guy alongside either versions of these characters and just be in a great place. So had to get this. This is not hard to find. You can get it at any retailer. I've seen them on, store shelves stacked to the gills. This might even go on clearance at some point. But this is a really cool set, and if you're into it, grab one. Came out the same day. Hawkeye with the Sky Cycle. Had to get a comic accurate Hawkeye. I love the character from the comics. I think the Sky Cycle is really cool. This is my favorite version of the uniform. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and get the West Coast Avengers pack because it does come with some pretty cool additional characters. Plus with the announcement of the full color comic version Vision, like, it's a no-brainer for me to go ahead and just get this guy too and just make a little West Coast Avengers display here in the coming weeks because this is really cool. I'm super stoked for this. Again, this is on store shelves. Tends to be a bunch of them. It may go on clearance, but I didn't want to take a chance. I don't like taking chances with this stuff because I'm paranoid, and FOMO's a thing, but hey, Hawkeye, right? Sometimes I make purchases, and then in my brain it gets registered as, something I'm missing. So I sometimes misrepresent myself to my friends. And these next two figures represent that problem very well. I bought this Dusty from Nerdzoic at the same time as I purchased a couple other things. And because I don't currently have one. And I think I have friends searching for one for me. Do not. He's right here. And he's in great shape. And I think he's super cool. I love the removable features and everything. G.I. Joe Classified is getting better and better. And this is a great example of that. And second on that list is the Classified Torpedo. I hate the box art. I hate it. This art's great. This sucks. These boxes suck. but I'm really stoked for the figure inside, and I love that they made this. I think I accidentally have a second one coming because I forgot that I got this. Ugh. At any rate, cool to have one. Love me some swimmy guys. Yo, Joe. Dipping back into last year, this is one of those figures that are really easy to get, but I just kept dragging my feet, and as I started to see stock waning in certain directions, I decided to pull the trigger before I ran out of excuses. What can you say? Comic accurate Black Panther. I love the character. I'm glad he's around. And I can't wait to put him with all my other comic accurate figures because I have a great movie accurate one. And I like to kind of mirror the two collections. So this is going to be great. This one's going to feel like it's a bit off the beaten path for a lot of you. But you know I collect Ninja Turtles. And I had to get this android body Krang while I could. Obviously it comes with the brain. You can put him in there. He's got the controls and everything. You know, the BST AXN are not known for high quality stuff. I don't need this to stand up to rigorous play. He's got to pose a couple times a year and look good. And by all accounts, this particular version of the character does that. I hope Playmates reissues the one that they made many years ago. It looks like they're on track to do that. But in the meantime, for 30 bucks, he was worth giving it a try. I've never had an android Krang body, and because I do have a lot of the classic scaled turtles, this should scale pretty darn nice, and I'm looking forward to using all the different accessories and having a good time. Krang! Shredder! Alright, the last few boxes are DC related, so we're going to go ahead and just get going. This should not be a surprise to anyone. But I got the Tim Drake Robin, the OG one that Todd McFarlane put out for Superpowers. I think he looks great. I'm still going to get the alternate paint and decide which one I like the best. But as of now, in terms of sculpting and paint, as far as what's out right now, or has been out, this is probably the best Robin in this scale that's ever been released. My opinion. So we got Robin, and I did get another Detective Batman. I have two of these. I might even go for three, because I do want to use two of them in the display, and I would like to keep one on card. They're still relatively simple to get a hold of through either Amazon or McFarlane Direct. It's not too bad, but this sculpt is darn near perfect one-to-one for the OG Batman from Superpowers, and having that black part of the cowl is like so super frenzy. Can't beat it. But the thing is, when you get a Batman and Robin, like, how are they going to get anywhere? They can't just run. So, of course, I had to get the Batmobile. Had to have it. Visible Jet's back there, and this thing is just killer. I didn't realize it at first, but it does have the battering ram like the old one does. It's just a smaller version of it. It's got a similar, you know, decals to look like the jet engine back and everything. Has these boosters and everything. I do enjoy that the windshield is a single piece on it. It's very cool. And almost more exciting than the vehicle itself is the fact that these boxes display so nice, and they did such a good job representing the toy line and the artwork. So that's a big reason why I collect these, and why I'll continue to support the line, because even though there are some pretty egregious repaints going on, the overall line is really cool, scales right, and giving more vehicles, like, come on, and it's a decent price. Come on, Superpowers, Batman, let's go. Speaking of the Caped Crusader, I am starting a bit of a DC multiverse collection of sorts back there, and you know, I have an 89-esque Batman back there from The Flash. I've got the Batmobile, I've got the Dark Knight Returns Superman back there. I've got a Lex Luthor and a Red Robin, Tim Drake. So I'm starting to amass a little bit here. I've got the properly painted Tim Drake coming. And it dawned on me that, just like with everything else that I have Marvel up, for example, I like keeping the movie and comic stuff separate. And while I'm not after a movie-accurate version of every character by any stretch of the imagination, I'm pretty happy with those, I do want to keep comic-accurate stuff in one place, and then the movie stuff in the other. So it dawned on me I needed a comic-accurate Batman that reminded me of a Neil Adams version of the character. And then they announced the Nightfall Batman. This is, in its price range, the most beautiful, blue and gray, comic-accurate Batman that I have ever seen in this scale. It is just beautiful. And he's getting harder to get a hold of, so I'm glad I pre-ordered him when I did. I can't wait to get this guy out of the package, put him next to Tim. They're going to have some fun. This is cool. This is the last packaged figure that I'm going to show off. And it's because it's the only other packaged figure I have to show. Everything else I have is loose. But some of those loose figures tie into what I'm about to show you. So I figured I'd get that out of the way before we go there. Confused yet? Cool. Now, before McFarlane had the DC license, Mattel had it. And they did a lot of comic-accurate and superpowers adjacent and even full-blown superpower reissue figures in the same scale. And life imitating art, I suppose. My first two superpowers vintage, figures were Lex Luthor in the Power Suit, which I have the McFarlane version of that up there. It's not the exact same, but it's really close and it looks great. And Steppenwolf. Here is the Mattel version of Steppenwolf from that line. I had heard horror stories from Jim Largo about how expensive these had been getting on the secondary market, but I've been pleasantly surprised that a lot of the characters I'm actually going after, they're not bad price-wise at all. And in some ways, in some cases, they're less expensive than the McFarlane counterparts and arguably better quality. So this is awesome. He's exactly the way he's supposed to look. The proportion is great. And there's just some really cool stuff going on here. So this is super special to me. And as I continue to grow a modest DC 6-7 inch scale collection, this is really important to me. So I was really stoked to get this. So I promised you loose stuff. So here's loose stuff. I don't want to take this too far out of the bag, but you might be able to tell this is the chest piece for a vintage A Real American Hero Cobra Commander. In those cases back there's an original Cobra Commander with either a discolored or an alternate chest just to keep them together. Needed to get a new one, found a great deal on it, went ahead and pulled the trigger. Now, from the same line of figures that Steppenwolf came from, we've got a Martian Manhunter. And he looks great. A little stern, but he looks the part, looks great. Cannot wait to have him up on the shelf too. In the same lot, I got a Parademon. I essentially got both of these for the price of what I would normally pay for one of those figures. And I'm not complaining. I remember getting a Parademon when I got the Superpowers original rundown. Was really hard to do at a decent price. So to get a Parademon along with a Martian Manhunter, both in good condition and at a good price, can't say no. I was crying in my soup a bit about missing out on the Bullseye, Elektra, Daredevil 3-pack, both when it was on Hasbro Pulse and then when Big Bad Toy Star got it in and on a restock. And I started looking around at similar Daredevils, and I found me one from the Goblin King line. He's a little old, from 2015, so although he doesn't have all the snazziest of features that current Marvel Legends may have, it's pretty close, and he's in really good condition. The paint is of good quality. Again, for the price, let's go. Despite needing a heat gun on his hand to hold his accessory properly, this is an amazing specimen of a Mattel, Superpowers recreation of the Joker. I didn't even know this existed, and to get one with his mallet, and he just looks great, yeah, I'm getting more into the DC stuff. Nowhere near as much as Marvel Legends, but when you dangle superpower stuff in front of me, I gotta have it. Next up is a Build-A-Figure that I bought pre-assembled. Typically these go for crazy amounts of money, and once in a while you'll come across somebody who just doesn't care that they have this, or got it from a multi-pack or a lot, and just decided to get rid of it at a reasonable price. I had to get me a Marvel Cinematic Universe accurate Thanos, or Thanos, depending on how you look at it. But he was a Build-A-Figure from a specific wave, and I don't have most of those figures. I have other representations of them. And to get those waves are crazy expensive. I don't need the characters. Plus the fully battle armored out version of Thanos goes for crazy money. And I said, this will work just fine, especially for around, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks. He looks beautiful. He's got the gauntlet. My only wish is that they had an alternate hand that was snapping, but hey, again, for the price, you cannot beat this. And finally, this last handful of stuff came to me from the Epic Badger, one of my best friends in the community, and I just really value his friendship and you know, collaboration, because he's always great at finding stuff or giving you a good deal, and this is no exception. He looked in the archives and found some figures that he wasn't looking to keep anymore, gave me a great price on them, and I believe he threw in something pretty fun as well. So I'm going to show you these loose figures and see what you think. So, in keeping with the MCU accurate stuff, I have not one Captain Marvel, but two. The new Captain Marvel movie is coming out soon, and I've seen the head sculpts on the new ones, and I like those better. But I like the idea of having the multiple costume variants and the different haircuts. I know some people don't like that version of the character. I think she's great, and I'm looking forward to having a couple different ones depending upon which part of the display she hangs out in. So that's awesome. We also have a Jubilee in all of her glory. Of note, at the time of recording, the X-Men 97 Marvel Legends 6-inch went up for pre-order, and I got the whole team. Partially because I didn't have a Jubilee or this next character, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I forgot these were coming. And this is Gambit, looking really spiffy and comic accurate. Beautiful figure, again, one of those ones that weren't hard to get. I just slept on it too long, and then now it became harder, and thank goodness that Jesse was downsizing and decided to give me a really good deal, and I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Here is a bag with all of the accessories for all those figures I just showed you. They're right there. They're all safe. And last but not least, drum roll please, it's very kind to part with a vintage cover girl, which is wonderful. She is in great shape. Not an ounce of paint rub on her. She's probably going to be due for a new O-ring here in a couple months, from what I can see, because she's a little bit loose, but aside from that, she is in minty condition, and she's going to go right into that Wolverine back there, because that is her jam. She is awesome. Thank you to Jesse for getting all these out to me in such a timely manner, and thank you to all the eBay vendors, too numerous to mention, for all of these great deals. Big Bad Toy Store as well. Trying to think of, you know, of course, Amazon. Some of the stuff came from Amazon. But I did not want to leave without giving you a hint of the other part of this haul that is off camera, and some of which is still yet to arrive that you cannot yet see. This is your hint. Until it comes, that's all you get. But the deeper I get into my collection, the more excited I get when new stuff comes. And then the dread kicks in, where am I going to put it? But looking at all the loose figures and seeing how many of them actually fit in the area that I had, I'm really excited to get things out of packages and begin the loose display of the collection, the process of which is starting relatively soon. But every time something new comes in, aside from the dread of where am I going to put it, I'm just more excited to see where this all goes. And I hope that you guys can see the excitement in my eyes and the appreciation for everything that's here. And look forward for more. As soon as that final piece comes in, I will be showing off the rest of this haul along with that very soon. So stay tuned, guys. Oh, I guess there's some other stuff here you might also be into. It's a bunch of G.I. Joe pamphlets. Let me show you guys. These are very old and very hard to unfold, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that. This one's going to tear itself apart. I gotta be careful, but it's got some great vehicles in here, and good reference because some of these shells I actually have. So I'm actually really stoked on the idea of having these. If I can get them open without, you know, breaking them. But this is cool. This is a Legions of Power pamphlet. I'm guessing these are like 90s toys or something. I remember the name. I might even have had some of these now that I think about it. But this is pretty cool. It shows you all the toys you can get. Oh yeah, these are modular things. I remember these coming out and being all modular and stuff and thinking I'd like them. I might have had one, but this is cool. Like, you guys know I'm into this stuff, and Jesse knows I'm into this stuff. Oh. Okay, so this is some more of that old catalog stuff. Very fragile paper. But you've got some great photography of these old toys. And I remember, like, this is when I started to get out of the line a little bit, because I was asking for too many of these vehicles. My parents were like, don't you want something else? I did end up getting the Mamba late in the toy line's life. I absolutely adored the damn thing. It was just so cool. Speaking of cool, I had a bunch of this stuff. Bunch of this stuff I had as a kid. And I have shells for a lot of this stuff. I am going to have to rebuild. It's a good problem to have, kids. It's a good problem to have. There's still more. This looks like a more intact copy of that same advertisement. So it's in one piece. There's tons of cool vehicles on here. It shows off all the different figure variants. Damn, this is cool. Thank you, Jesse. And this is like a really great reference point for me as I am looking to rebuild a lot of the vehicle stuff that I have. There's even more yet. There's even more. Okay, this one's also a bit ripped apart, but it does have like some great figure references again. Like, this is great. I think this is the other half of that one. And this is... oh, this is crazy. Oh, wow, this is a mail-in thing. This is kicking it old school a little bit. Wow, this is a mail-in thing, and there's even a OG Steel Brigade order form on the back, and there's always vehicles. Whew. A Cobra APC, or G.I. Joe Cobra. G.I. Joe APC, $10.75 and 3 flag points. I would redeem that shit right now. A Fang is $6 plus 2 flag points. Man. But this is crazy cool. I can't wait to scan this into the scanner and you know, clean it up in Photoshop, print it out, make a poster out of it, and just hang on to the original because reasons. Because reasons. But these are great. Thank you, Jesse. And I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this haul, and that you're having a great day, and you have a safe and happy weekend. I love you guys. Take care. Special thanks to our patrons and members who you're seeing on the screen now. Thank you so much for your support. It really helps.